10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Shoot her before him, but make sure he sees it. Oh, and this one, kill him, take him to his church, dump him in the pulpit.
Long live Stalin!
Should we investigate?
Should you shut the fuck up before you get us both killed?
Oh my. Yeah, he's feeling unwell, clearly. You take the head.
Why?
You're acting general secretary.
I would be honored.
Fuck my boss.
What are you doing to my father, you jackals? How old are you?
I'm old.
You're not old! You're not even a person! You're a testicle!
He's irreplaceable. I must take his place.
But you just said he's irreplaceable.
This is just fucking wordplay.
Oh, is it?
It's not like rendered horse, you burning asshole.
God! You will not take me down!
You're going to have to report this conversation. Threatening to do harm or obstruct any member of the Presidium in the process of looking at your fucking face. Fuck. I fuck Germany. I think I can take a flesh lump in a fucking waistcoat.
Uncle Nicky's gonna be dead. Yes, he is.
I may as well just shoot myself like mother.
I will deal with whatever horse shit you have presently.
Actually, I'd like you to see this.
Come on through.
Moving on!
Jesus Christ. Did Coco Chanel take a shit on your head?
No, he did not.
Good afternoon, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome, good golly, Miss Molly. Welcome to the show. Right now, I'm going to say that this show is not for the faint-hearted. No, it will never be monetized. So, super chats are always welcome.
But if you love to laugh, you came to the right.
You came to the right place. This show will never be monetized. In fact, there's a strong chance we'll get taken down halfway through, like Nick and Toxic Tuesday. But it will still be on Rumble, of course, if we're taken down on YouTube, and we are live on Twitter too. So welcome back to another episode of the Cult Comedy Crew, where today we're going to dive into the razor-sharp world of the Death of Stalin, a 2017 political satire that's as hilarious as it is, quite frankly, unsettling. Directed by Armando Iannucci, this film takes us into 1953 Soviet Union, where the sudden death of the brutal dictator Stalin sparks a chaotic power grab amongst his scheming and sometimes bumbling inner circle. With a stellar cast, biting humour, and a knack for exposing the absurdity of power, it is, for me, a must-watch and proof that we're not only doing films from the distant past. So stick around as we break down what makes this comedy a comedy of terrors, as the poster put it, a modern classic. Please make sure to click that like button, share out the stream, and all that other good stuff they tell us to do. So let's get started. Welcome, one and all, to The Death of Stalin, a movie I've had tucked away in my brain to do for quite some time, and was wondering if we really should tackle it, given YouTube's propensity for dropping people. Because this is not a movie for the faint-hearted. It's R-rated. It has a lot of violence and language in it. Although, I mean, it's violence, but not, overly graphic at times, but it's also bitingly funny, and finest of British satirical ways is largely British.
Only a guy like Iannucci could make somebody getting executed a punchline.
That's
oh my god,
and he does it
actually and work. Like
so
that officer in the very end of the trailer, where they're sending off all these other guys to be shot, and then the other guy next to him turns right.
Yeah. Oh, so his name was last on the list.
Yeah.
You're on YouTube.
It reminded me of that scene from The Dark Knight where it's like, no, I killed the bus driver.
Well, I do want to rejoice, comrades. Democracy is defeated at last. I do want to, Comrade Stalin said not to like this movie, but also I should point out that as somebody mentioned earlier, here it is. So Nick says, don't forget to record the show, because Stalin wants a copy to listen to later. That's just when I realized I'd forgotten to. So lock the doors. None of you are leaving after the show. We're going to do the entire show again and record it.
That's right. Don't get out of your chairs. Do not go to another webpage. I promise no one will get killed. But we're going to do that.
Yeah. So we'll welcome all of you brave people who are here, because you are now officially on a list.
Where are you going? Sit the fuck down.
Anybody in the chat and anyone that's the panel here are completely done for.
Yeah, we're done.
Yeah. I mean, I've been on a list for a long time.
Yeah. So we three are going to be scheming against each other through the entire show, so that only one of us is left at the end. And then
I'm going to go get a key out of the desk to go get to open up a cabinet for another key, and that'll open a door for another key. And oh my god!
In Soviet Russia, movie watches you.
That's it.
But this is a phenomenal movie, which I seem to recall watching on Netflix when it was released. Although it did get a theatrical release globally. But I saw it, and I was thinking, they don't get many movies like this now. I mean, there's satirical movies, but they usually lean a certain way. This one is, the thing I've always liked about Armando Iannucci is he's an equal opportunity offender. And I find it very brave that he was willing to take on Soviet communism, which is often a protected species in the pantheon of brutal dictatorships under Stalin.
And especially this era of the Soviet Union, which is probably the least funny and the bloodiest out of all of them.
Absolutely. I mean, Stalin this is a hard thing to make funny comedy of, but it's, again, following that lineage of Python. British comedy has been able to do this over the years, like make the most horrible, terrible things.
Like I was saying backstage, do you have any idea how hard you have to work to make Lavrenti Beria funny?
I know. And huge credit to Simon Russell Beale for playing that part with such aplomb.
Oh yeah,
but I love
for it too.
Yeah, I love the what was it? Jason Isaacs, General Zukov says, was it something in a shitstein in a.
Oh yeah, I fucked Germany. I think I can handle a flesh lump in a waistcoat.
It's a flesh lump in a waistcoat. and yeah, I love the fact that they kept their original accents, both American and Cockney or London or whatever the accent was. They kept their accents.
And I like the idea of Zukov speaking with like a low end British accent too.
Yeah,
like a lower class accent.
When they begged Stalin to return, as the joke goes, he said, "All right, but this time no more Mr. Nice Guy." It's a good joke. Oh, Nick the Greek, thank you for the super chat, sir. As I say, this stream may not even survive, never mind be ever monetized. I mean, it's going to be copyright claimed anyway, but I was getting ominous warnings about unadvertiser friendly, so there's no monetization on YouTube for this stream ever. Rumble, of course, will always remain in place, regardless. So Nick the Greek, $4.99 from Nick the Greek. Fun fact: when they are looking for doctors, Culture Casino makes an appearance in this movie as Lindsay. They suck. And we have that clip, so stay tuned for later. When we're going through the stills, we'll play some of the clips that I think we could get away with. So they added the scar for Zukov to make him look much. Thank you, Nick. You obviously have to get a video to celebrate from one of our other cult comedy classics that we played. You can get this fine one, this fine palate cleanser.
Let me see that.
It's a Russian. It's Russian
right there, man.
Fair enough.
Come on.
What a great movie. So let's get into talking about the movie and who's in it.
Thank you for all your super chats. It lets us know we won't be unpersoned alone.
That's right. Yes, that money can be traced through digital ID. Somebody's watching you. Yeah, so this, as I say, I typically a lot of the stuff we've done a couple of modern shows like Shoresy, but hey, there's a hockey theme in this movie too. This is a hockey movie.
Yeah, fair enough. He can't get away from a movie with a hockey scene in it.
This has got
There's
hockey
one hockey scene in it, but
but we got it.
Got to be there.
So I thought it'd be nice to do something that's a little bit, I mean, I say a little bit up to date. It's like 9 years old or 8 years old. The Death of Stalin, yes, it's, let me see if I can get a better layout. No, it won't let me change the layouts. Oh, there we go, that's it.
There you go. Lots
of great poster art for this. I do love this one, A Comedy of Terrors. So it's the genesis of this movie. Well, the stats: a French-British-Belgian co-production. People have been jailed for less than this since making this movie in France, France, Britain, and Belgium. You can be jailed for these posters now, probably. I do love the style. They've aped that old Soviet poster art style. A comedy of bureaucratic proportions.
As the old joke goes, a film so good it was banned in Norway.
That's banned in Norway. Yes. And it's such a great cast, which we'll go into in a little bit. It's such a brilliant cast. Released in October 2017 in the UK, and then a limited US release in March 2018, which I actually didn't realize it had a US theatrical release. And eventually grossed 8 million domestic in the UK, USA, which isn't bad for an R-rated satirical comedy.
Yeah.
Really. But a global total of 24.6 million on a budget of 13 million, plus obviously lots of streaming cash or whatever. So it probably did okay. I mean, that's not bad at all. Given that,
like this is never going to be a blockbuster hit for you, but it'll probably do okay.
Oh yeah, and reputation-wise, it's going to be something that people will watch for years. But given the talent involved, that 13 million budget is pretty damn good.
Yeah, they got some pretty top-end talent for not a lot of money, apparently.
Yeah, top talent, and recreating those the costumes and the look of Soviet-era Russia is pretty well done, and that stuff's not cheap either.
The production value of this is really, really good.
It's beautiful. Really good.
Awesome.
Music's good. I do like this one, they're fighting over the Tash. I've always loved this poster. The fight for leadership begins.
Yeah,
that was one of my favorite lines or segments of the movie too. Is Stalin is not even cold yet, and they're already fighting.
Hell, he's not even dead yet.
Yeah, true.
No.
It's got the cream of some talent, the cream of the talent of the era in it, which has caused a lot of controversy in Russia, though, amongst multiple people in the organization, including Marshal Zukov's daughter. So a lot of people did not like it, worked to get it banned in certain countries, including Russia, lawsuits, all sorts of stuff. So it did ruffle some feathers here and there. Probably didn't get a lot of love from the intelligentsia in the West either, who loved to defend certain Soviet communist eras.
And that's one of the reasons it's so good and I know why the intelligentsia hate it, because it shows the Stalinist regime for what it was.
Yeah.
Nobody believed what they were saying. They were just saying it because if they didn't, they'd get shot.
Oh, yeah.
And the opening thing with the short fat guy, I can't remember the character's names.
Korea.
Where he's walking through this hallway where there's just you hear gunfire and people being dragged from room to room.
It's welcome
and everybody.
I don't know if you know who he is.
No, I don't.
NKVD guy.
That's one thing that I'm sure you two are into, but I was lost on is I'm not big on the history of Russia. I'm just
and there is a lot of historical inaccuracies in this, as Davina will probably point out. In fact, I think the NKVD wasn't even in existence at this point; it had been disbanded. Effectively, it was called something else, doing the same thing, but it didn't exist.
They were still doing the shit right up until Stalin died.
Yeah.
But
But
I figured that was his guy, like whatever that German scientist was that was doing all kinds of experiments during
Mengele?
Mengele.
Yeah, that's what
Well,
I
Mengele was more of an experiment. I think Himmler was probably the equivalent in Germany.
Okay,
Yeah.
gotcha. Yep.
But anyway, that scene where he's walking through the NKVD headquarters or whatever, and it's well choreographed because you've got guys getting shoved downstairs, people getting carted away in the background, people getting shot, people coming in and out of rooms. So they choreographed the torture well.
Yes, they did. It had me laughing my ass off. I was like, "Oh my god, all I could think was Ace Ventura. What a lovely room of death."
That's right. Yeah.
That's what I mean. Only Iannucci could have designed a show like that, or a scene like that, where the torture and execution are the punchline, and it works.
I know. It's just, how do you make comedy out of that? Now the Pythons were great at it. They made dark comedy. Look at the sketch about the Undertakers. So I think we got an eater here. Is it a burner or a burier? That kind of thing. So based on I didn't know this, but based on a 2010 French graphic novel, La Mort de Stalin. I wish I could translate that. I don't. La Mort de Stalin. I just don't get it. By Fabian Nouri and
the author story. So.
Yeah, I was kind of being funny.
Oh yeah, okay.
In my terrible way. By Fabian Nouri and Thierry Robin. The novel focused on the struggle between Beria and Khrushchev for power. Hey, Tim's got his member chat. Hang on. I got to highlight these because I have my members are small but beautifully put together.
Well, thank you very much.
Small and beautiful, yes. Tim celebrates 1 month of membership. The NKVD was dissolved on March 15th, 1946, but pretty much replaced by something equally bad.
The third director to the KGB was essentially the same thing.
Yeah, and also a $1 super chat from Tim. Thank you, my friend. Appreciate the support. I appreciate all the support very much. Become a member. It's worth it. You might win some stickers or a t-shirt or a hat. You never know. So thank you for that, Tim. You obviously have to get a thank you video. I'm trying to resist playing any of today's till it's time to do so. But let's have another dictatorship themed. Top secret, of course, which we did on this challenge. We have a wonderful playlist of cult comedy crews, Spies Like Us, Top Secret, and many other good ones.
Go check them out.
Go check them out. So, but I've never read the novel, but I believe the guy that wrote it, Fabian Nouri, did this. This looks interesting. It's called I Am Legion. Oh. And I'm going to check this out. I've not actually read it or seen it, but it seemed quite interesting. So if anyone's ever read this, I Am Legion by Fabian Nouri, and it has been translated into English, let me know. Oh, okay. Davina says, I have that book. Tell us, is it good, Davina?
And we wait for the answer. No,
and we wait 30 seconds. I think I've got it on low viscosity today. But Davina, it's great, but not a comedy at all, says Davina. Davina also said when they changed the organization from the NKVD, it was the MVD. The torturers got a small raise, but it was mostly a nominal transition.
Yeah.
So the organization smoothly continued.
Although that was a title that everyone fought for as being the MVP of the MVD.
Oh yeah, you weren't safe though. If you look at the way
you were not.
Look at the way Beria treats one of his guys in this.
That's one of the things about all authoritarian regimes like this is the reason they're so brutal is because they know no one is safe.
Yeah, and you're second guessing every word, every action, and you can be condemned without doing anything. Sounds like modern Western society.
Yeah, it's like you can say something as a joke and get reported.
Yeah,
and then you're done.
Right. So multiple production companies were involved, but I found it interesting that this is something, again, I wasn't aware of, and maybe it was years ago, I forgot. The principal studio was Gaumont, the French studio, which is apparently the oldest existing film studio in the world, founded by Leon, the professional Gaumont, in 1895, 1 year before Pathé. So and they're still going today. So well done, Gaumont. Probably would change hands multiple times, but it's still going. This is one of their original things. I love this kind of history. This is fabulous. All the old stills from the very original films they made. However, let's talk a little bit about the creator of this piece. I don't want to talk too much about the backstage people because the cast are so good, but time was obviously always a factor. The director of the movie is Scottish writer. Bear that in mind. The Scottish writer, director, satirist, and performer Armando Iannucci. The name gives it away. Anyway, of Italian parentage, but born and brought up in Glasgow. Scottish writer. He's made some of my favourite comedy properties over the years. Right back to a show I used to listen to on Radio 4 back in the early 90s called On the Hour, which was a radio show. It was a spoof radio news show, which he then translated to television and called it The Day Today. And it was, if you've ever see these, there's a lot of clips of them on YouTube, savagely satirizing the news media and the political figures of the day, but also very critically introduced the character Alan Partridge, who has obviously since become a thing of his own, Steve Coogan. He was first heard on the Hour, where he was a sports reporter who didn't know anything about sport. And who then became, and then his wife died inexplicably in the radio show and then came back to life, which was weird. And then Alan Partridge became his own thing, and we're definitely doing this show on this show someday, Knowing Me, Knowing You with Alan Partridge, spoof chat show. He is one of the funniest character creations ever. Trust me if you've never seen him. But he does a lot of political satire. He did The Thick of It with Peter Capaldi, which is a very highly rated British show, and then Veep, I believe, which I've never seen, but
that's an HBO show.
Yeah.
The girl from Seinfeld is on it. And, high praise for that one. I've heard. I haven't seen it myself.
So Reed by Nature's mentioning a show called Brass Eye, which is another very funny show. And yes, that is the guy for Brass Eye on the left, the actor. I can't remember his name right now. So.
Very much has this same sense of humor of taking things that should not be funny and are actually serious topics and making them hilarious.
He is great at it. And he has a number of other shows he's done over the years on TV. I was an avid watcher of all of them because he's extremely funny. And he does performs on some of the shows too. He's not just a writer, but very, very smart, clever, funny guy. Can't praise him highly enough. And definitely one of these days we're going to talk about Alan Partridge. Aha! Knowing Me, Knowing You. Possibly one of the most vacuous but entertaining fake talk show hosts ever. With an obsession for Kate Bush and ABBA.
I mean, at least the Kate Bush thing I understand.
So I mean,
that's cool, man.
There's lots of other people involved with the show, but really, time being what it is, I want to focus on the cast because it's such a glorious cast.
Oh my god!
So let's run down the cast of characters. I don't mean literally with the vehicle; that would be illegal.
That would be nice.
So, and look at this wonderful cast. I'm assuming this is a shot when they were for publicity purposes because they all look very happy. So we'll start with the nominal star of the show, Steve Buscemi, or is it Buscemi? The debate goes on. Buscemi. Steve B.
I say it, Buscemi. Yeah.
Buscemi. Stevie B as Nikita Khrushchev, cunning and ambitious committee member who is one of the ones who maneuvers to consolidate power after Stalin's death. Now, it's not only about maneuvering to consolidate power, it's maneuvering to stay alive.
Yeah, I was fixing to say, there's a whole lot of people getting whacked left and right.
Yeah, there was a concerted effort by pretty much everyone on the Politburo that no one wanted to be the guy that got stuck with the blame for everything.
That's right. And you can see that it's all about, like in any authoritarian grouping, how do we avoid blame?
Yep, and it's basically who can we get rid of that makes us look good,
and how can we maneuver someone else to get the blame? And you see that often throughout this, like whether we could blame that doctor, or we could blame this woman, or we could blame if it goes wrong, they get the blame, kind of thing.
Yep.
So and plus that nobody wants to make a decision. So
everyone's terrified of actually making a decision because God help you if it's the wrong one.
Yeah. So there's no point in extolling the career of Steve Buscemi because we all know him extremely well. He's a magnificent actor.
Yeah. Come on.
Boardwalk Empire, just what a show, amongst dozens.
And the best part is
all that stuff.
He's not just a funny actor. He's done serious roles as well, and he's great at those as well.
Sorry, I've got I love Tim's comment here because I said Alan Partridge. He goes, Alan Parsons? They've been the Alan Parsons project for years and nothing has been finished yet. It's a never-ending project.
That's it.
And I will say, him as Nikita Khrushchev sounded weird at the time, but it works.
It does. Great. He's great.
Such a good actor.
Well, he's my favorite part of the show. Him or Oscar Isaacs.
The thing is,
Jason Isaacs steals this entire movie.
You know what I'm talking about.
He actually plays Khrushchev as one of the few almost likable people in it.
Right?
You kind of like him.
Well, it's also because he's one of the few characters in the whole movie that's not a complete retard.
That's right, and also is not as he's obviously taking part in the purges, but he's doing that to survive a lot of the time. So he does. I think he genuinely does want reform, but what could you do when Stalin?
And that's exactly what he would do after Stalin's death. Was once he took over, he basically reversed course on everything Stalin did in the 50s.
That's right. Well, I mean, it was terror. It was terror, and the people hated it. So Jeffrey Tambor, another actor who we could extol the virtues of for a long time and many, many things. He plays Georgy Malenkov, Stalin's indecisive deputy, thrust into leadership, but easily swayed by stronger personalities. And you can see that with when somebody goes, no problem. And they go, really? No, I mean, no problem. He's very vain in a sense, and he likes the photographs. Sharpened cheekbones, not sharpened cheekbones.
And Malenkov was in more danger than pretty much anyone else.
Oh yeah,
because any paranoid sociopath like Joseph Stalin would look at the guy behind them as the guy who, in the line of succession, as the guy who's most likely to plot against him.
But that's why he's the guy behind him, because Stalin knows he's completely useless. So
that's the thing, is that position is then usually filled by an incompetent yes man.
Yeah. Actually, I was thinking about that before. Buscemi has always gained my everlasting respect for what he did after 9/11, going back to work as a fireman in NYC.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
hello.
Absolutely, salute that.
Because he absolutely did not have to do that.
No, he gave up.
Did it because it was the right thing to do.
He did.
I will respect him to the end of time for that.
No matter what, yeah. So Jeffrey Tambor putting in a really great performance. Now, the guy that played Beria, Lavrentia Beria, I can never say that properly because I'm Scottish, the ruthless and manipulative NKVD chief who schemes to control.
Or does he look like Danny DeVito's Penguin?
He does look a bit like Danny DeVito, doesn't it? In the Penguin.
Like, especially in the Penguin makeup from Batman.
So he is one of the ones who, some of them are just trying to stay survive. He definitely wants control.
Oh, yes, he does. The first thing he does when he sees what's going on is gets the key that opens the drawer, that opens another key. He goes and burns documents. I mean, first thing, he's going into the secret shit.
Gets the list he wants.
One of my favorite parts of the movie, too, is literally everyone other than Beria, as soon as Stalin's dead, looks at him and just goes, all right, this dude needs to die.
He's marked for death already, yes.
It's like, no matter which one of us is in power, that guy needs to go now.
And he controls so much information, though, they're all scared of him. So it's, but he's definitely scheming. But I love that bit at the beginning where, trying to get a doctor or get help. He finds the keys, he's opening drawers, he's jumping out of windows.
And then everybody else that comes in, we need to get a doctor.
Well, he says to his guy on the ground that he's trying to drop the file down to, he says, if you don't grab that file, I'll poke both your eyes out and I'll do one first so you can watch it with the other one.
Right?
And read by nature, that is absolutely true as well. He looks just like Dick Cheney.
Yeah, he does. Yeah.
So he's played by Sir Simon Russell Beale, who's a celebrated British stage actor with some movie and TV stuff. Most recently, although I've never actually watched it, he is in House of the Dragon. So,
excellent.
So I've not watched that, and people tell me it is good. But yeah, he's very, very known and knighted for his work on stage. He's one of these English stage actors. That's all the Shakespeare or whatever. So Simon Russell Beale. Also in the movie, of course, is one of our old favorites, Michael Palin.
Yes.
Playing the now again, I can never pronounce the names. Vyacheslav Molotov. I screwed that up completely. The loyal but paranoid foreign minister navigating this power struggle. And he's paranoid because everything he says, oh no, it's whatever the party wants, whatever the committee wants. Stalin would want this, Stalin would want that.
Right.
Right down to the scenes we'll show later with his wife.
He has every reason to be
his
paranoid.
wife.
He's the one that signed the alliance with Germany in 1939.
That's right, yeah.
He's kind of wears that for the rest of his life.
Yeah. But underneath all that, he's quite a canny survivor when he decides it's time to do something. But even his own wife was abducted by Beria, and he's she was a treacherous sow. That's right. We're going to play that clip.
The best is when they do that scene, and then she's standing in the doorway, and he's like, "Hey!"
The evidence was flimsy.
Right.
Oh,
first one. Slim evidence.
So we're going to play that clip later when we get to the right point. But the next one is the icing on the cake, possibly a career-defining performance. Jason Isaacs as Zukov, Field Marshal General Zukov, the brash, no-nonsense Red Army Marshal who wields his military influence with swagger. No one can touch this guy.
And Jason Isaacs just chews up every scene he's in. Like he becomes the star of the show, even though he's not actually in that much of the movie.
He's not, but he makes an incredible impression with that accent as well.
Yeah.
And of course, the war hero, so he's untouchable, really. I mean, he's
literally the only one Stalin can't kill.
Right.
He may try, but he hasn't been able to get away with it. And of course,
everybody here in the States just got done watching him over the weekend.
Yeah.
I guarantee you, almost every household had the Patriot on in their house in America this week. And he's the guy that's the commander of the Dragoons in that one.
Oh, yeah.
But
so
here's the thing with Zukov is that he had the absolute loyalty of the entire Red Army.
Oh, yeah.
So it came down to a fight between him and Stalin.
And he's the real deal. He's got balls of steel.
Mm-hmm.
Balls like Kremlin domes.
Yeah, Kremlin domes. Balls like Kremlin domes. So we are going to play some clips later when we go through the movie stills, but we're going to play. Zukov deserves his own spot, so we're going to play some of those now. And this
for the coat scene.
when he first shows up.
So stand by for some full force Zukov. Fun fact, Timothy Dalton was up for this role, but he decided not to do it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
He'd have been okay, but
he would have, but Jason Isaacs kills it. How about this is his first lines almost in the movie.
That's enough, you handsome devil. Stick you in a frock, I'd fucking ride you around myself.
I will take that as a compliment.
Yeah, don't. Right.
And then he says, what does a war hero have to do to get lubrication around here? We have more. That's not all. This is the great one. This is another great Zukov moment when he encounters Stalin's son.
That's enough, you handsome devil.
I gotta play the right one when I do it.
I know about the hockey team. I was deeply upset. Oh, that's it.
Thank you all for your...
Medic! Not today! You're a fucking stain on that uniform. You just fucking behave.
What is going on?
He felt a little overwhelmed, sir.
Harm. This is a perfect example of harm.
Because Khrushchev had promised Stalin's daughter there, Svetlana, that they would come to no harm.
Yeah.
He kept, what do you say? Harm? What are you saying? Harm? What do you mean by harm? Well, what I mean is
harm.
I just love it where he's just trying to talk to him, and then Zukov just punches him square in the dick.
He knows what's coming. He goes, medic!
Yeah, he knows he's going to kick his ass. That's great.
And then Zukov's just like, not today, but...
Yeah. Well, I'll play this other one now because I've got lots of clips, all of which will be completely banned. This is the one, also one of my favorite scenes where this is later in the movie where Khrushchev really needs Zukov's support for this attack on Beria, and this is how it plays out.
Why has the army been confined to barracks?
Sorry, wrong one.
You're going to get to it, buddy.
I've not annotated them properly. Hang on.
I was going to say, you got to label them.
I need... Oh, here it is. Yeah, this one.
Your fucking trousers.
Modern soldier's greatest fear. It's not death, it's not starvation, it's chafing.
And then he planted the flag on Hitler's bunker, or he knocked the bear out with one punch. Either way, the man's a war hero. No. Excuse us, please.
It's Goebbels' bunker, not Hitler's, as you well
Listen
fucking
to me.
know.
I was the one who
Put the trains back on, I know. Comrades, fuck off. I'll punch you into a sticky pulp.
Thank you.
What the fuck were you thinking?
Oh, I don't know, okay? But I did it. And I really need your help.
To do what? His body's fucking piling up in the streets. A bit late, isn't it?
What if we blame this on someone who's out of control?
Nicky, be very careful what you say next. Who?
Beria.
I'm going to have to report this conversation. Threatening to do harm or obstruct any member of the Presidium in the process of looking at your fucking face. Nikita Khrushchev, you balls like Kremlin domes, right?
Stop. Be serious. Are you in?
Look at your fucking face.
Oh, my God. That's funny, man.
And like we said backstage, every one of us has served with that guy who will just do that.
Yeah.
Right.
And make you think he's about to fucking turn you in.
He played him along somewhere. And then this is where they're jostling for position against Beria. And they mentioned the trains, of course, with the massacre coming off the trains. And Beria's trying to push around to Khrushchev because he controls the trains, even though it was Beria's NKVD that did it. So lots at stake at that moment. But the other one I was going to play, sorry, I will play it now, is the one because he has no time for Malenkov.
Why has the army been confined to barracks?
The decision was mine, supported by Comrade Malenkov.
Oh, was it indeed? All right, Georgie, it was your call.
Yes, of course. We had to make a decision.
We're discussing the city's security.
I know.
Jesus Christ. Did Coco Chanel take a shit on your head?
No, he did not.
Malenkov doesn't get that it's a joke.
No.
He takes it literally.
He is the perfect portrayal of a career bureaucrat.
Yeah. It's just
completely
so
spineless, will not take a stand on anything.
I had to play those now because we got to get the Zukov stuff in early. Yeah.
Oh yeah, because we're gonna get.
I'm already getting the YouTube warnings.
Oh, we've already got the warning.
Yeah,
going an hour.
This warning: your stream will be blocked because you're political subversive.
That's it.
So anyway, moving on from Zukov, we have Rupert Friend playing Vasily Stalin, Stalin's alcoholic, erratic son, desperate to assert his father's legacy. They stole his brain and sent it to the Americans.
Right.
The funniest part is this is the son that Stalin didn't have executed.
That's right, because again, he's hapless. So.
Now, the funniest part is him wrestling for the sidearm with that one guy standing there, waiting for the outcome. And then the guy holding the gun's just sitting there going, whenever you're done, you know. And somebody finally goes, okay, just get him, all right?
Right. He's getting nowhere as well.
Yeah, I love the look he gives him too. Just like, could you just not do this right now?
That's right, yeah.
Stop.
And they're all standing there like this.
Right? It's like, would you please stop?
But he's completely impervious to the danger he's in. Svetlana gets it, but so his sister gets it. Svetlana, she starts to wake up to it, especially when Nikki exiles her, and she should be grateful she was exiled, not But yeah, so Svetlana, Stalin's daughter, Andrea Risborough.
She played this role great, especially because she's one of the straight people.
Yeah, there's no jokes in her.
Yeah, like she does not do the humor, and that's what makes it even funnier.
Yeah, she of course was in Oblivion.
Yeah,
with alongside one of the other stars of the movie, Olga Kurylenko. They were both in the movie Oblivion. So I don't. She's
Kurylenko. Oh my God, yes.
Yeah. So we'll come to her in a minute, as the actress said to the bishop. Also in the movie is Paddy Considine as the nervous radio producer caught in the chaos of Stalin's regime, trying to meet absurd demands. I just love the opening sequence.
Yeah.
The opening was very Python-esque. If you have these two guys talking or arguing in a radio booth of whether or not it means call him back 17 minutes from.
That's right. Was it from when I picked it up, or was it when I put it down?
And that goes on for like 2 minutes.
It was when he said it. That was it. Yeah.
Who puts a lamp on a chair? That was Svetlana. Who puts a lamp on a chair? As if
this
that's
guy's super uptight, and the dude he's working for in the sound booth could give a shit what's going on. It really doesn't care, and it's driving this guy ballistic.
I don't know if I have the Dad's Army German clip. I think I might have it somewhere. The Dad's Army German clip where he's don't give him your name, Pike. Because the Germans have captured the home guard guys in the British town. Don't give him your name, Pike. Too late. I might have a single Dad's Army. I do have one Dad's Army clip.
We're doomed.
It's the only one. But anyway, I love this whole sequence with we'll talk about it when we see the stills, where it's like, how are we going to do this? He wants a recording of something that's finished live.
Yeah, they were just getting done recording live.
And it's Stalin. I want that recording in 15 minutes, whatever. He's.
And you can't say no. And everyone's had that moment of like your big boss is like, oh yeah, I need this in 20 minutes, and you're just like, fuck.
But yeah, was it a 9 or a 5?
Yeah, right.
But anyway, a great Irish actor, obviously, most recently seen in the magnificent Mobland, which if you haven't watched yet, you're missing out on the greatest show of the year, I think, in my opinion. So a great actor, Paddy Considine. Another one of my favourites that's in the show is Paul Whitehouse, who plays another one of the committee, Anastas McCoyan. Pragmatic Politburo member who navigates the struggle with cautious opportunism. So he's one of the. He's not trying to take over. He's again just trying to navigate, get on the right side, whatever. He's quite funny though. Now Paul Whitehouse is a brilliant British comedy actor.
And in real life, he was actually, the reason we call Russian fighters MiGs is because of this guy's nephew.
All right.
Artyom Mikoyan.
Yeah, but Paul Whitehouse is one of my favorite comic actors from the last 30 years. He was co-creator and star of The Fast Show, which I do want to talk about one day. Brilliant, groundbreaking British sketch comedy. Tons of great, funny characters on that.
Back when Britain was allowed to be funny.
Allowed to be funny, yeah. Hell, even the Johnny Depp guest starring on one of these. So Paul Whitehouse, great performer. Not a major role in this, but he still has a few funny lines. Then we've got Olga Kurylenko, who plays Maria Yudina, a defiant pianist whose subtle rebellion against Stalin's regime sets the tone early in the film. It's not so subtle when you stick a note in there condemning him into the record.
Yep.
She's obviously hardcore religious because she believes
the best part is she gets away with it.
She does. And she's got a thing.
That note kills him, essentially.
Yeah, she does.
And no one ever notices.
Apart from Beria.
Yeah.
He gets the note. He glebes the note and uses it later. But there's all the running gags about Nikita and her because they're tied together.
And in reality, there was no connection between them. But Beria actually made an ally out of her.
Yep.
Because they tied them together.
That's right. So they were sink or swim.
Yeah, it's like, well, we're either going to help each other or we're both getting shot.
She's one of the few good, pure characters in the film because she's lost all her family to Stalin and Beria. She doesn't care anymore. She's obviously religious. She believes everlasting life. She's not. She doesn't care anymore, and she's.
And that's one of the things that makes her compelling is she doesn't have any political ambitions. She's just run out of fucks to give.
Yeah, but here she is
because she can.
So she was also in Oblivion, but she carved out a bit of an action movie thing because she was in Black Widow, Hitman, Extraction 2, Thunderbolts.
Her in Hitman is one of the most beautiful.
Oh yeah.
Roles
so she's actually carved out a little bit of a
Solace right there.
She was in Quantum of Solace, yes.
Yeah.
And also in Oblivion. So, so there was a few others. Adrian McLaughlin is the guy that played Stalin, mainly a theatre actor. Small but impressive performance. Paul Chahidi as Nicholas Bulganin, who's again, he's loyal but unassertive. So he's one of the guys that has to be won over by the others. They need bodies on the committee. British Iranian actor, mainly does a lot of stage and TV. And then you had Dermot Crowley as Kaganovich, Minister for Labour, who again is one of these guys that the others need on board to do stuff. So Beria and Khrushchev constantly trying to get them on board.
One thing I really liked was how
that's him there. That's him right there.
Yeah. Yep. How much they focused on the competition between Beria and Khrushchev.
Yes.
Like, which side were you on?
That's the core.
Certain people on side immediately.
That's right.
And they would also try to persuade people, and they mentioned a bunch of names that outside of actual historians, I'm not sure most people know. Guys like Tukhachevsky, all of those guys, like the ones who were killed during the purge.
Yeah. Indeed.
And these would have been guys that they went to school with.
Because it's a committee, so they need and in fact, Michael Palin, the Molotov, says, no, you're not taking Beria out unless everybody's on board. Nikita kind of lies a little bit about it. But,
he's like, yeah, you're the only one who's not.
So, Dermot Crowley, Irish actor, was almost cast as the 7th Doctor Who, but they cast Sylvester McCoy instead. Instead. Also played General Crix Madine, I can never pronounce that, in Return of the Jedi. There he is holding his wand.
And that is correct. He does have the worst haircut in Star Wars.
He does. And had a role in Octopussy as Lieutenant Camp. He wasn't particularly camp in it, though. That I recall.
No.
But, so that was the main cast. There's obviously tons of other people in it. Let's do what we do then. Take a romp through the movie stills and chat about it. And talk about the action on screen as it's happening. So, now, ironically, some of the buildings filmed, well as the UK locations, were in Kiev. So make of that what you will.
Yeah.
Like the NKVD buildings, Kiev. But so this is the concert mishap.
Oh, my God.
Setting the scene about Moscow 1953. And the phone call comes in, and it's from Stalin.
It's not a good connection, and he gives him a number to call back in 17 minutes. Yeah.
Well, hi, and if this is what I love about it, this whole hive. The general secretary, the secretary of the general. It's funny because this part, these guys don't really interact in the cast with any of the others. This is a very separate.
And like I said, this is really reminiscent of Python.
Yeah. Well, when was it?
Constant running joke of it's not supposed to be funny, but it is because of how long it goes on.
Yeah, was this a minute ago? Was it a minute when he phoned, or a minute when you put it down?
It's like it was a minute ago. Are you sure? No.
How long ago was that now? So Stalin's listening to this Mozart with the pianist Udina, and he's loving it so much. He says, "I want the recording."
It was kind of a combination of a couple of Monty Python sketches I've seen and the argument with the video store at Spaceballs.
Yeah, I think this is all.
When will that be now? Soon.
Yeah. And then there's that kind of other stuff there. Khrushchev's talking about putting a grenade in somebody's mouth and it blowing up, making soup and something. Yeah, they're all sitting enjoying this. Unfortunately, no one's recording it. Who's on first joke? It's very like that, yeah. So who's on first joke? And because Berry is busy with lists. And this is where he's like, hey, okay, so this is a bit where he goes, I want this one, and his wife shot, but when the wife shot first in front of him.
That was actually one of the best parts of the movie for me, because I was wondering how they were going to portray Berea the first time.
Oh, ruthless.
And they absolutely go all in. They did not sugarcoat this at all.
And then he goes, and then he's got another one. He goes, I want this to take them to the pulpit of their church, kill them and take them to the pulpit.
Yeah, kill them, take them to the pulpit.
Yeah, and then he goes to the other list. He goes, you can do what you want with these ones. And the great thing about this is that those trucks are out there at night in those apartments grabbing people, but at the same time they're trying to get this conductor we see later. So the conductor thinks he's going to get taken.
He's about to get whacked. Tell this person that.
He says goodbye to his wife, and
he's like, tell them whatever you need to. I know the truth.
Yeah. So really, they don't sugarcoat any of this. This shows the absolute terror and arbitrary nature of these lists. It shows sons turned in their fathers and blah blah. You know, it doesn't hide anything. And he's practicing what he's going to say to Stalin.
And it shows that no one's fucking safe. Either.
No one is safe.
Like, there are other NKVD officers in this movie who get shot.
Yeah.
And it wasn't because they were disloyal. It's because somebody ratted on them or wanted their job.
Yeah. He said, this is Stalin. I want a recording of that. I'll send someone to get it. And this is... So this is where we get our first of our other video clips.
Well, that's one of the things I disagree with South Park is, you know, the brown note is not, you know, whatever they said in the show. The brown note is pretty much, this is Comrade Stalin.
Yeah,
and
that's right.
On the other end, on the receiving end, immediately shits their pants.
Oh yeah. So now it's chaos because he asks, did it go out live? No, it went out live. Oh shit.
Was it recorded? Please say yes. No, went out live.
Stay. Okay, nobody leave. Lock the doors. Lock those doors. If you wouldn't mind just taking your seats again, please, that would be fantastic. Take your seat, take your fucking seats. Take your seats. Don't worry. Nobody's gonna get killed. I promise you. It's, this is just a musical emergency.
The look on his face when he says nobody's going to get killed is priceless. Because maybe they will. He goes like this. That's funny.
And I love, like the look on his face is just like, no one will get killed. Hopefully.
Yeah. He's like, I don't know if I should do it. Yeah, it's Davina's over in Rumble, just in case we get taken down. Good to see you over there. But so yeah, so it's chaos now because not only have the conductor now knocks himself out by tripping over, knocks his head in a fire. And then I love it. And they go, who put that fire safety equipment there? How inconvenient. And he knocks himself out in the fire bucket. So they need a conductor and they need the pianist to stay. It's funny. She is a principled person, but he offers her enough money to agree and she stays.
Yep.
So she's still an artist at heart. Oh, and yes, I love this dinner with Stalin. Malenkov goes, what happened to Palinko? And everyone does a deathly hush. You shouldn't ask about the names of the ones that are gone.
Although, but that one's kind of unrealistic because at this point in Stalin's reign, anyone in a position of authority fucking knew better than to ask whatever happened to that guy. Yeah. Why don't we see him anymore?
Well, you get the whole thing, and you see it later of, and Michael Palin says it to Jeffrey Tambor. When you get home, don't forget to get your wife to write down everything you said. So in the morning, you know what you got to deal with. And you see Khrushchev doing that when he goes home. He has to write down everything that he can remember, just in case. So he manages to assemble them, and they have to get some peasants in off the streets to fill up the audience. And, you know, they're getting a free show, a free highbrow show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So So they do it. They finally get it done. They get recorded because they're on the clock. People are coming to get it. Oh, Pope's playing the piano.
Something.
Yeah, this is where the conductor knocks himself out, I think. Yeah, and because it's throughout the thing, they're all worried about everything being bugged. I hope this office isn't bugged. So the guy...
Sorry about that.
Yeah, so the guy says, oh, even Stalin could tell the difference between whatever. And he goes, is this place bugged? Of course Stalin can tell the difference. He has the best ears in Russia. Yeah, what being his fire safety fucking idiot put that there? It's in the right place. But Udina... yeah, he's turned his father in. It's quite brutal. So this is the conductor, and he's thinking, because the guy opposite is getting taken away by the NKVD, and he thinks he's done. And he goes, what he says, you're the finest and nearest conductor.
Yeah.
Yeah. The nearest is the important part. What became of Polygon? I'm exhausted. I can't remember who's alive and who isn't. They've had to watch the cowboy movie, and because it's great that they've got a collection of Hollywood movies. You know, because Stalin can have them, nobody else can watch them, but his crew can watch them. In fact, they even mentioned Grace Kelly later. Zukov says something about, I'd like to fuck Grace Kelly, but you know, whatever. So they all bugger off home. He finally gets the recording. Oh, he's getting these people in. Don't think any of these people have ever heard of Mozart. I love it. They are the actual proletariat that are coming in to get this free gig instead of going back home after a day at the coal mine or whatever. Yeah, there's the wife writing down everything.
Yeah.
And now this is where we get the choreography through the halls of terror.
You're walking through there and everybody's getting. You hear gunshots and they're
people rolling down stairs.
Another, and it's clear he's going into a room where he's about to torture somebody. You know, they're tied to a chair. And that's pretty damn funny.
Just, yeah, and the absurdity of some of the questioning and the.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and this guy's, you were late. Make a note of the time. Make a note of it. He was late. You know, you delayed this. And she slips the note in.
Right.
The critical note.
Yes. The critical note.
She's not lying. She says it says the intensity of her feelings for him.
Yes.
So, off goes the recording back to the Dasha. I love the two guards. This is very Monty Python as well. Right, they're like, when they hear this, so he reads the note, and she succeeds in giving him a cerebral hemorrhage.
Yep.
And again, none of this really happened. There's a lot of time shifting. There's a lot of moving of events from different areas. Different people did different things. So but it's done extremely well for narrative effect. But yeah, so they hear the thump, and he goes, "Should we check it out?" He says, "You want to get us fucking killed?" So he's lying there all night. Now, meanwhile, Barry has just seen some names. Don't worry about him. Those ears are full of blood anyway. This is the guy. He's his own guy, and he gives him shit, you know. Sliminov, and he mocks his stutter. So Barry...
I absolutely love that they got right in this movie, though, is whenever anyone gets the sense that they're saying the wrong thing or the old narrative, they immediately change course.
Oh, yeah. That's right. When the reaction isn't quite right, they go, "Oh, shit. Got to change that." So Barry is... It's a race now, and he's off first. He's out of the gate first. Horse. Is this code? Whores, it was meant to be. He's on Molotov's on the list. That's when we find out Molotov's on the list. That's why he wasn't getting committee meeting invites. So the running gag here is the pajamas.
Yep.
Yeah, the running gag's the pajamas.
Well, because the NKVD would snatch people out of their homes in the middle of the night.
Oh, yeah. But yeah, so she's been in there. Barry gets her first, and he gets her out of the room. And of course, his first reaction is not, "How can I help him?" It's, as we were saying earlier, smells like a Baku piss house in here. He's looking for the keys. Mm-hmm. And then the keys to the keys. And the keys to the keys to the keys. Yeah. like the schemer that he is. He keeps some and gets rid of others, I guess.
And the funniest part is, no matter how paranoid they try to make Stalin seem, the reality was far worse.
Oh God, yeah. That's interesting. You saw the knife in his leg, at the bottom of his leg that he keeps.
Yep.
Malenkov here, despite his ineptness later when they're taking Beria to be shot, he shouts, he's got a knife in his... He's self-aware enough to go, he's got a knife in his trousers. So he's not as stupid as he looks sometimes. Well, this whole irreplaceable bit is funny. We got to play this clip.
He's irreplaceable. How can we possibly? All right, we must think of the people. As acting General Secretary, I must step up. I must take his place while he's on the floor.
But you just said he's irreplaceable.
Irreplaceable. Take his place, as in assembling the Central Committee, of course.
That's like you just said he's irreplaceable. That's sly. Beria is really sly there. That's funny. Yeah, I mean this shows when they all start turning up the inertia of the system. Everybody knows what should we do? What are we going to do? What's the right thing to do? What's the thing that won't get us killed?
Well, that's the thing too, is that Stalin had ruled with such an iron fist that essentially from the second he lost control, the knives came out, and all of a sudden everyone's fair game because everyone wants to be the guy in charge.
Yeah, and they all have to put on this show as well.
Yep, that's the best part, is they all have to claim to be like weeping, concubines of Stalin, essentially.
That's one of the lines. Let us loosen the strings on the Union's corset. Yeah. That's when Malenkov's wearing the corset later, and Beria is taking the piss. I think it's Beria taking the piss out of him.
I think it's Khrushchev, actually. But...
Is it Khrushchev? But yeah, somebody says, let us loosen the strings on the Union's corset. Looks right at Malenkov. So here's the rest of the committee arriving. So there was... sorry, I have another great clip. So they're trying to decide about getting a doctor. And there's quite a funny line. Here we go. It's this one.
Which doctor have you called?
Oh, well,
the subject's currently under discussion.
Yes, as acting General Secretary, I think that, the committee should decide.
The committee? But our actual General Secretary is lying in a puddle of indignity. I mean, I think he's saying, get me a doctor now.
No, I don't agree. I think we should wait until we're quartered.
Quartered? The room is only 75% conscious.
Are you wearing pajamas?
The room is only 75% conscious.
That's a great line.
It's a brilliant line. And then there's the Zama reference, which carries on for a while. But they can't even decide whether to try and get a doctor or not, which is nuts. You got your quick comrade, as Paul Whitehouse says. They're quite cynical, some of them. And then they get
everyone's looking for a reason to plant the knife right in the back of the guy next to him. And it's hilarious to watch.
And then they're all arguing about who should carry the head. The head is the heaviest part. They're arguing who should carry which bit, and they'll get piss on themselves. Oh, they shoot 3 times already, And are you wearing pajamas? Yeah. This is this is the farcical elements. Oh, and this is the gold reference. This is
all right. Are you wearing pajamas? Can we just stop twittering like fishwives at the market and concentrate? Whoa. Open the door. Back up. Back. No. Get back to the kitchen now. Move. Now.
He's heavier than I thought he'd be. Well, you think Stalin's too heavy?
No. It's a compliment. Gold is heavy.
Well, you'd know. You've looted enough of it. You seem to be a little pirate.
Stop pointing with his feet.
The running gag of this whole thing where they're trying to keep from kneeling in the piss is just ridiculous, man.
I know. Well, they're all going to just shoot fight 3 times. And
a movie made in 2017, a guy literally turns around and yells at a serving girl to get back in the kitchen.
Yeah. And the 2 guards.
That's the most based thing I've ever seen in my life.
Get back in the kitchen. Make a sandwich now. But the poor guys that have been on, still the same guards that have been there all night. I mean, they must have bladders of steel. He's got a tomato in his pocket from when all the food shit was going on at the thing last night. So the doctors, this is, again, it's hilarious, this whole section. There was a doctor's plot, and all the doctors got on the lists and got executed for plotting to kill Stalin. So there's no doctors left. Says, well, who are we going to call? We killed all the doctors. And then they get into this whole. Oh well, who was that woman? What was the name of that woman? Because the woman that testified against the doctors, she knows the remaining ones' names.
Yeah,
but she's also got some other talents. Talent for fellatio. Lady sucks. It's one of the funniest bits of the film. So, is it this one? Hang on. I gotta play this. This is so funny.
Well, if he recovers, then we got a good doctor. And if he doesn't recover, then we didn't, but he won't know. What was the name of that woman who gave evidence against the doctors?
Tomashuk. Yes, she's got everything we require for this situation. The location of all the remaining doctors in the Moscow area, a proven desire to survive, and a talent for fellatio.
Right, she gets my vote.
Yeah, good. Let her find us some doctors.
Yeah, and if it goes badly, we pin it all on Lady Suck Suck.
The best part of that delivery, too, is just how matter-of-fact it is, and, nobody thinks it's odd. Because this kind of plotting and scheming just happens all the time.
Yeah, I mean, as Davina is saying, again, there's not a great deal of historical accuracy in some of this. Doctor's plot was an anti-Semitic purge of doctors. It turned out to be a hoax. I would imagine that while certain doctors may have been purged like everybody else was, I don't think the Politburo would have allowed themselves to not have any doctors. They wouldn't be that whatever. So,
well,
however,
leftists have never proven themselves to be all that intelligent or capable of thinking of second and third order consequences. So they may have had just all the doctors shot and then turned around like, wait, why can't I see the doctor?
I do like the fact that because the film had been banned in Russia, according to Iannucci, the film has been illegally downloaded 1.5 million times in Russia.
Oh, you know it has.
And they're on a list too now.
Of course
the doctors were still dead. Okay, so it was a hoax, but they're still dead. So I guess the whole thing was hoaxed, and they died as a result, even though it was a hoax. I get it. Okay, I get it. But yeah, I mean, they do manage to round up. They get the Lady Suck Suck, and they round up some doctors. But that in itself is
doctors are bad doctors.
Well, I don't know. I think
that was one of the jokes.
It doesn't matter. If they're a good doctor, he recovers and we get the credit. If it's a bad doctor, he won't know the difference. This poor guy's walking his dog, he's a retired doctor. He starts running. He can hear the wind. And the dog just disappears off into the distance. That's funny.
Well, as we said at the start of the show, too, I think that's probably one of Culture Casino's most underrated roles is as Lady Suck Suck.
Lady Suck Suck, yeah. So I love it. They assemble a team of mediocre doctors. There's a pediatrician, and they're all old men. You're a testicle, and you're a hairy whatever.
Right?
Meanwhile, there's a little bit of good stuff here because they're talking about reforms, but they're also talking about factionalism. Oh, Malenkov, when I piss, I try to get contact with an officer, it really unsettles them. And he's trying to get close to Malenkov because Malenkov is nominally in charge. So he's like, well, let's get the army out and get my men in charge of security. And then they're waiting for Svetlana to arrive so they can get the daughter on their side. It's all about maneuvering. You're a testicle. Yeah.
When you look at the situation, not in the movie, but in the real timeline, Khrushchev was very lucky to survive this.
Oh, I'll bet.
Because he was not a career politician. He was a soldier. Him and Zukov went way back.
Yeah, that's what they were talking about earlier. Yeah, with the in the field.
The fact that he was able to see what was going on and take advantage of it rather than being the one that got the finger pointed at him was absolutely insane that he actually managed to navigate that.
Yeah, if it was Culture Casino, Davini, you'd be right. The gayest doctor we could find. Testicle. So this, anyway, the scheming goes on. There was some good lines of Paul Whitehouse and Steve Buscemi there.
That line specifically.
Who were you? Who were you talking?
Soviet planes do not crash.
Yeah. Who are you talking to out in the woods there, big boy? There's bears out there. He goes, there's bears in here too. It's dangerous wherever they are. But this whole sequence is great. So as a sop, they've put him in charge of, to give him something to do, they've put him in charge of the Russian hockey team. Unfortunately, and again, this didn't happen in this timeline, but there was a Russian hockey team died in a famous plane crash with a one survivor. They've kind of transported it into this timeline just to give Vasily something to do, and he's in charge of this hockey team. But of course, it died. Everyone's died, and nobody knows. He's trying to keep it secret. Soviet planes don't crash. Right. What plane crashed?
Which, if anyone knows the history of Soviet aviation right about this point, that is the funniest fucking thing they say in this whole movie.
Yeah. Well, yes, get this team to play with it, I'll have you killed. It's very North Korean of him. Give me the drink. Give me a drink. But yeah, he's a total architect now.
Very Jun-un of him.
Indeed.
At this point, I mean, Russia was North Korea, essentially, in terms of how they were run.
Yeah, and in fact, I think you see a North Korean at the funeral later. But anyway, it's because they were not at that time. The North Koreans were not Chinese proteges; they were Russian Soviet proteges, not Chinese. The Chinese were not part of that North Korean thing at this time, so they are now. But here's a little clip of this. I've not got all of it.
Play better! Oh, Jesus. When we play Hungary, we're allowed to use guns.
Come on, General, these are the best I can find since the plane crash.
What plane crash? There was never a plane crash. Was there a plane crash? Soviet planes do not crash, and Stalin's son does not fuck up.
Rupert Friend, another Hitman connection. That's right. Yep. It's two Hitman connections.
He's in that movie as well.
He is. I forgot about that. Good call. Read by Nature. Yes. What plane? There's no plane crash.
I apparently talking about.
When we play Hungary, can we use guns?
Guns. He'd make a great coach for the Boston Bruins, I think.
Yes, he would. Yes, he would.
You know, I mean, couldn't do any worse than the guy.
Right. That's one it now.
So they're grabbing Vasily. He thinks they're coming to about the plane crash.
Yeah.
He thinks they're getting him for that, and he's no, your father. It's about your father. Nothing's happened. What the fuck?
And of course, you have like some of the most incisive and insightful coaching advice, like play better.
Play better, and he gets in the ice and goes, "Play through me. Pretend I'm not here." So this is where they assemble the finest physicians available, along with Lady Suck.
Yes.
The testicle.
Yeah.
And then this guy, you're a fossil or something. Yeah. It's funny.
And kudos to the makeup team because they make him look about 100.
They do. So they do figure out he's had a cerebral hemorrhage. And this is where it gets tricky. What are the chances of recovery? Relax, I'm not going to kiss you. Will he recover, yes or no? No. So, of course, if he does recover, they're in the shit.
Yeah.
You said, no, I want a second opinion. I don't trust these creatures. You look dead. We have all the doctors. There is no other opinion. You offer her tears. They're not as a gift, of course. So, yeah, Berry is busy on the phone. He wants no travel to Moscow, trains cut off, army replaced by NKVD, so he can control everything. Zukov isn't happy when he finds out, of course. So he's got all sorts of... he's the best schemer, there's no doubt about it. Nicky's like 2 steps behind at this point.
But that was always a political football between the Red Army and the NKVD. Was both of them wanted to be in charge, and both of them had authority over the other, depending on who was in Stalin's favor at that point.
Yeah, and both of them had guns.
Well, yeah.
So this is where the word harm comes in. He says, I will keep you and your
I
brother.
should not have used the word harm.
I should not use the word harm, but he just skips that word in the sentence. It's still there, though. What do you mean by harm? Why would we come to harm? Yeah, it's and she is in danger. That's why would we put a lamp on a chair? Who would do that? That's our funny line. But anyway, Stalin, briefly, much to their chagrin and fake pleasure, wakes up briefly and starts pointing. He's pointing at his successor, and he points at Khrushchev. And he's like, "Ooh!" And then he points at his housekeeper.
Maybe not. Think it's what? Isn't a painting on the wall?
Well, I've got the clip.
He's
pointing at the painting.
Yeah.
So I've got that clip.
It's a painting. It's a painting. He's pointing at the painting.
Hold on. You know what he's saying? He is saying, I am the lamb. Huh? I am the lamb, and you, my children, have given me life.
Yeah. Or the lamb is the people, and the milk is socialism.
Maybe he's the milk.
Maybe you're the tit.
So they even debate the nature of him pointing at. He doesn't even know what he's doing. He's just in the death throes.
Maybe you're the tit.
That's right.
There's a couple scenes in this movie, like that one and the one with Zukov, where I was just rolling laughing.
Top Boy, yeah.
Oh.
Right, yeah, it's this sometimes happens, yeah. Oh dear, you're in trouble. Shit. I don't think it'll last long.
Oh, that's got to be a absolutely horrible feeling when you need to explain to Lavrenti Beria why you fucked up.
Yep. And he's gone. Yeah. I think at this point the two guards are still standing outside the door.
They are.
Stream has been blocked.
Oh.
YouTube stream has been blocked. Had a feeling that might happen.
YouTube is run by gay race communists, confirmed.
Time to retreat to Rumble.
Well, it'll come back.
Yeah, it'll come back.
Rumble is still over there with Davina and Vince over there. So let's make sure everyone knows what the Rumble link is. So I'll just post the Rumble link in the YouTube
the chat will
side.
still be up on it. It's just the
yes.
So the Rumble, it'll come back. It just is unavailable. It should come back. So I had a feeling we were going to get into a
sticky wicket, maybe.
Thank you for being on Rumble, everyone.
She says, saw that coming.
Rumble, thank you for not being shit.
No, thank you for not being twats.
Right.
Our TNZ was just about to send a super chat. You can Rumble. Oh, you can't hear me, can he? I don't believe anyone can hear me. Okay, it's no longer being blocked due to copyright issues. So
it's back up.
It's coming back. Are we back? We are back.
Yes.
We are so
on YouTube. Back. We are so back. But everybody, I put the link to the Rumble stream in. So also go over there. Davina and Vince are over there. Tim's over there. Just in case we go down completely forever. Let me just refresh here so I get my studio back up. And it's going. We're going. So, well, our TNZ was just about to send a super chat, but it's a great movie. It should be shown to every young person who claims communism was misunderstood. Yeah, it was misunderstood. It was a lot worse than people thought it was.
It was worse than people could even believe.
Yes. So, where were we? Oh, yeah. So anyway, Beria is now maneuvering hard to get the rest of the committee on board because he wants control. This is Molotov's wife, who was assumed dead because she was on a list and was taken, and Molotov keeps degrading her in his memory because he's a party man and a loyal man.
Well, it wasn't even necessarily that they believed it. It's they had to say it because if they ever spoke her name ever again, they're dead.
Yeah. Indeed. And but Beria, being a smart guy, tucked her away for future purposes just like this because he needs the Molotov on board. He needs so he's trying to work each member of the committee.
Almost like a certain list that, it pertains to a certain island.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So he's busy, cancelling current lists and freeing some people and pretending to be a reformer, and then he does this kind of thing with
not to be confused with Schindler's List. No.
Indeed. Correct. Much more serious. So yeah, Berry is like he's releasing prisoners, halting evacuations to appear reformist, but also controlling with the NKVD. So Nikki, though, is also trying to get hold of Molotov. This whole sequence is funny because
my God, when he said, "Do you want me to hold your hair?" and started laughing, that was funny.
Because he tries to puke and yeah, he's got no hair. But yeah, he tries to pull it again. And he goes, "You're gonna wait for it to fill up." Fucking apartments, So they have to pull the toilet so nobody can hear them talking.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's busy and he's talking about Paulina and Michael Palin's, I think it's the party, me. But he's busy just slagging off his ex-wife.
That's the best part of whoever wrote all of this dialogue is they really captured the cat and mouse of not only what they're talking about doing to Beria, but also none of them really knows who's on their side.
Well, they don't.
Probing.
Well, because everybody's so guarded.
Yep. And even somebody who says something like that may be there as a plant to get you to out yourself.
Yeah, nobody wants to commit themselves. So, but this is a funny scene. I'm going to try playing it. I mean, we might end up getting completely blocked on YouTube, but screw it. It's a funny scene because Nikki and Molotov are busy condemning Paulina, and Berry is like, "Oh, maybe she was a wronged woman who was framed. He's the guy that took her away." And he's trying to set himself up as, "Oh, she wasn't that bad. You should give her a chance," because he knows what's coming. Yeah, she betrayed the party. She was a parasite.
Husband is sitting there bad.
And in fact, the evidence was flimsy. Buscemi starts to change his tune already
because he sees her in the doorway. Oh my God!
And he's still but even after she's back, he still says she was a traitor. It must have been very, very anxious to live through something like this. I mean, the ordinary peasants they had anxieties of other kinds, like being able to eat or whatever. If you were in the elite, the anxiety is always there because they're the first to get taken out.
That was actually the really funny part with both Stalinist and Stalinist Russia and Maoist China is that the people closest to the party were the ones in the most danger.
Yeah. But meanwhile, Berry has tucked this poor little housekeeper away in there for nefarious purposes, which we find out later that he's got a bit of a history. I think, have we passed the point where they kill everybody in Stalin's household?
Yes.
And they empty the entire place. Nothing is left.
The part that killed me was when they got the doubles out there and shot him immediately. That was
the doubles. Yeah, your job's over.
Their job's done.
And then as they're waving the last of them away in the trucks, one of the guys turns to the other soldier and shoots him.
Yep.
I'm going to try and play another clip because the people in Rumble deserve it. So this is that whole Paulina thing. We'll get screwed again, but what the hell?
About Paulina.
Well, would you believe it?
Treacherous sow.
Or a wronged woman who was framed?
No, she was a criminal. I'm glad she's dead.
Right, because she betrayed the party, she plotted against Stalin.
No, Nikki, false narrative.
No, she was a parasite.
She was a parasite. She betrayed all of us. Yeah. And in fact, the evidence was flimsy. There were no witnesses. And look, Paulina's back.
So it's the change of a dime.
Is like we we see it as comedic, but that was something you had to do in this.
Oh, God, yeah.
The second a new narrative came out, the old one was dead. You never heard it. It's a fucking filthy capitalist lie, and this is the new truth.
Yeah. So Beria's plans are in full action. He's got... oh, it's blocked again, yeah. YouTube is blocked again.
Everybody boo YouTube in the comments. Boo. Just softly, though, not like bad.
Yes, boo.
Just a quiet boo.
Bees for boo. Bees in the Rumble chat for boo. So
I did it with capital letters and exclamation points. What's the problem?
Yes, D-Bud, boo. What are you two? See, as a mod, you should be able to handle this, D-Bud. What are you doing about it?
Are you really trying to handle it, or are you a traitor to the party?
He said, yes. There's a spy amongst us, I think. Yeah, playing the videos, I'll have to be a little bit, but we're going ahead on Rumble anyway. So this is the funny bit with it. They want the little Malenkov wants the little girl that was in Stalin's photo. Of course, this is years ago, so they have to find her. And she's too tall. She's too big. Give me one of the small ones again. There's a great bit earlier when he's waving on the Kremlin on the balcony, and you see the head of the little girl at the top of her head, and he gets her to wave. You just see the arm like this.
Yeah.
Just little things like that. This is the corset. Are you wearing a corset? Like making this a test tube description. Yeah, it's Snorty. They hate the clips, so you can't hear me, of course. We used to get this a lot when I played clips and stuff. So continuing on, the committee are now, and this I love all these committee scenes because it's three things they keep proposing.
Yeah, that was the best. That's one of the best scenes of the whole movie, where like he keeps contradicting himself and reversing course, and you just see the hands start going up and down.
We're back up on.
We're back up on YouTube, yeah. Yep. But we're still gloriously up on Rumble and Twitter, of course. So yeah, the hands kind of slowly go up and then come down again.
Yeah, and like they'll kind of go up because they think they know what he's talking about, and then he'll do a complete 180, and they all just come back down again.
Yeah, and now they're trying to justify the not carrying out Stalin's lists that were left.
Yeah.
But they're all unsure because they don't know who's going to. They don't know if the whole thing's going to go back to what it was under somebody else. So,
Well, and the other thing too is Beria's the one suggesting not doing it.
Yeah.
And so everyone else is suspicious of
it. Why? He was the one that did it the most. But this is where Michael Palin, Molotov, they think he's supporting Stalin's. I was the most loyal, and I did this, and Stalin's will was this, and Stalin's will. So they all start putting their hands down. And then he changes and says, but it's stronger still to force. So the hands start going up, and then they go down again, and then they go up again. Nobody knows what he's actually trying to do.
he reverses course like 4 times, and they just, at a certain point, they're all just kind of like half up. And this is the best fucking scene in the whole movie.
Yeah. The poor guy. Stalin's dead. Long live Mel.
Shoots. What?
Yeah.
Are you serious? No.
Yeah, and then the guards just walk away. They don't even say anything to these guys. They just walk away.
And I love the casualness where it's just like, oh yeah, long live Stalin. It's like, Stalin's dead, idiot. Bang.
Yeah. I love the fact though as well. I think in the committee meeting that Khrushchev gets saddled with a funeral.
Yeah.
What do I know about funerals? Well, this is the bit where the guy returns from the camp and his son's sitting there and he looks at him with a real.
The funniest one is they're sitting there like picking like whatever drapes and stuff are going to go around Stalin's coffin. And Khrushchev was like, do you really think I fucking care?
Yeah.
But somebody in the party was like right behind him. So he was like, oh, no, The ruffled, absolutely. That one looks great.
Yeah, Slim Hitler, as Nikita calls him.
Slim Hitler, yeah.
I'm working with Slim Hitler on Taffeta and Kelly Cohen.
And could you imagine being nicknamed that in the immediate post-war Soviet Union?
Yeah. Oh, I know. You would be in big danger. But the Roosh, not Roosh, I don't care.
Yeah, Roosh, that was it.
Roosh, not Roosh. How's the Minister for Fixtures
and Fittings?
But he's there's the girls they're trying to get for the photograph. But he wants the real one, even though she's like 20. The trains are back on, so Nikita is in charge of the funeral, so he's put the trains back on. That's critical, because as others have said, the people have Zukov. The people have the right to come and see him.
Yeah.
Well, they get a right to this. Is the whole.
This entrance for Zukov is just perfect.
Yeah.
Just the most big dick energy.
I'm telling you, high T interest. What's up,
Generalissimo?
Like, and this is where like the rest of the cast is awesome, but Jason Isaacs just steals the fucking show.
Oh, the minute he came in, it was just that's his movie now.
Especially with that slow-mo flip and then fixing his uniform and bouncing all the medals. That is just glorious.
That was another great put down by Beria for Nikki. You have a party trick burping the alphabet. Yeah, this is the whole army versus NK. Why have you confined my army to barracks? He's not happy. His little fucking apes at the NK don't know what to do yet. And he's right.
Because they really don't, yeah.
They really don't. Slim Hitler. That's
Slim Hitler over there. Yep.
And you can almost hear that guy who's in earshot because you can see he looks over in that direction.
Yeah.
That's an immediate gulp.
And it's almost hard to believe that there could be a guy that was actually in charge of things like that in Soviet Russia under Stalin. Where did they... I guess the leadership needed someone to do fancy stuff.
Well, yeah, they needed like a director of etiquette or whatever.
Now, this is also a clip I could play, but we've had the message. Maybe I'll end the YouTube stream early and play it on Rumble. So she's saying, well, you brought Paulina back. She's talking about her ex-boyfriend who was on a list and got taken away and obviously killed. I've got a request for you. Could you bring him back? Beria knows damn well the guy's dead. Well,
no.
Paulina was different. I had her. Can you do the? I want. It's just one thing I want. Bring him back. I'll do for you. I'll do the impossible. Oh dear. Yeah. So this is also funny stuff. So the committee are all around the grave.
How about these flowers trying to come in?
Right, bit down to the left, 25 degrees that way. I can sense how sorry he is for her treachery. He's still having a go at his wife, even though she's... So Beria invited the bishops, and that pisses them all off, because obviously they don't like the church.
What are you doing?
Yeah.
Although one thing I will say is the thing they didn't go into much here, but like her request to bring her ex-boyfriend back, she probably is so brainwashed and so indoctrinated that she genuinely believes that he was dead and Beria can bring him back to life.
Yeah, possibly. She seems very convinced that he can do it. So they're all around here, and they're all, but whilst they're standing there, they're all maneuvering. This is Vasily gets punched in the stomach by you. But there's the bit where Steve Buscemi says, "I want to swap places with you." To
right,
Markov. And he shuffles out, and he goes, "What are you doing?" He has to go back.
He told him before he did. He goes, "We'll make it look like it's part of the ceremony." Right?
Just such.
Yeah,
it's still.
The other thing I remember from watching it earlier was the pallbearers as they're taking him out.
Yeah,
they're just sitting there fucking just bitching at each other. It's hilarious. They're making plans as they're marching off with the dude.
So Red Spitfire over in Rumble, I agree. He says it's a shame Isaacs didn't create a character like Zukov for an original story. Imagine a whole Zukov movie.
My God. It's kind of like that character that Cruise made for Tropic Thunder. Everybody wants to see a movie of that guy.
Les Grossman.
Right?
Yeah, Les
Dick,
Grossman.
love him.
So this is Zuko comes in, medic, and I figure out the stairs have more sweat than man. They hate the visuals, but Beria's trying to get the people on his side now.
Mm-hmm.
He's trying to get everyone on their side. Everyone on he cracks, critically cracks at one point because he's not. He's trying to present himself as this reformer, and he tells all this, I got this on you, and I got that on you, and I got this on you. And he basically blows it, because up to that point, he was doing kind of okay.
He was doing just fine.
Yeah. He was holding his own. I mean, Nicky's quite right, though. You beat them, you raped them, you killed them, and you want them to love you now?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is where he goes too far, because he starts to threaten all of them. So that they can't have. It's one thing when it's just a game for power, but
didn't Khrushchev come out of this on top when it was all over with?
And that's kind of the
yes
thing with being like the head of intelligence for someone like Stalin. You're going to have to be enough of an asshole that as soon as your boss is dead, you're going up against the wall right then.
Right.
Everyone else.
You've been doing all the bad shit to people.
Well,
yeah.
Not only that, everyone else not only hates you for what you've been doing, they're terrified of you.
Mm-hmm.
So you're the first one they're going to make sure is gone.
That's it.
Yeah, of course, the NKVD are still in charge, so they start shooting when people...
They start shooting everybody coming off
they're
the
just
trains.
walking in to go to the funeral, and they start shooting at them. Now, people did die, but I don't believe they were... Davina might know, because she looks this stuff up. They were trampled. There was no shooting of people, so that didn't happen. People did die, though, but it was because of the sheer pressure of numbers.
But again, the funniest part about this depiction of Stalin's death and funeral and all that is how believable it is.
Yeah.
It's like, it's just retarded enough to probably be true.
That's a great bit, though, when Nikki comes out from talking to the pianist in private, and the two other guys, White House and the other guy, are like, did she hit the high notes? Show your fingering, this guy.
Yeah.
Because he's supposed to be having an affair with her. I don't know if he is or not. That's the assumption.
Well, that's the thing. That's been the rumor for years now, but no one's sure if it's true.
Indeed. So, the little girl isn't little. But yeah, this is where he takes him off. We showed the clip earlier.
Oh, my God.
Where they decide that Beria... I mean, Zukov can't stand him anyway, because he's the army guy. He hates Beria.
Well, yeah, Beria is his chief rival.
Yeah, so that's when he decides, but this look at your fucking face. I mean, that fucker thinks he can take on the Red Army. He's a great character.
Yeah,
I love that line still. Just like, I fucked Germany. I think I can handle a flesh lump in a waistcoat.
That's right. And now they're really getting to it. The two, they're openly competing now, the two of them. The Malenkov's just a prop. I mean, he's no idea. He's not in charge.
He's clueless. He's like the Peter Sellers of this bunch. He doesn't even know what the hell's going on there.
But this is where Beria cracks.
Yeah.
And shows his true colors.
He shows his hand, man.
Shows his real self.
Once they see it, boy, guess what? This guy's got to go.
I like when Malenkov says, "You can kiss my Russian ass."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because people forget a lot of the Politburo were not Russian.
No, they were from all over the place. Armenia, Georgia,
Azerbaijan.
Yep.
I believe there was a couple Lithuanians, including
Lithuanians, Ukrainian, all sorts, yeah. But yeah, Beria did himself a lot of damage in this conversation.
Yeah, he burned a lot of bridges.
Yeah, because up to that point, I'm not sure the committee members had really come on board. A lot of them, they weren't picking a side.
Right.
But I mean, they were quite shocked by the deaths of those people. Now, this is he planning a duel. He said he wanted to start early. It's Molotov, and then he has to pretend it's all about having a go at Nikki, so the drivers can hear that. And then he gets in the car and makes the dog bark. Is that dog molting? But he hates Beria because he hates the bishop. So this is them agreeing that Beria has to go, but Molotov's condition is every committee member has to be on board and sign off.
Right.
And Malenkov is an issue.
Yeah.
He doesn't even want to talk about it, in fact.
Well, he's just such a yes man.
Yeah.
That he's kind of just trying to read the room and seeing whose side he should trust.
Yeah, as Davina says, Malenkov was Armenian, so they were from all over the Soviet Union. Yeah, this his speech. How's our bear? And we are Russian cubs. His speech is so good.
Yeah.
Oh, this
My
is
God! When he finally gives that speech and the jets are going over, it's hilarious. I'm like,
yeah, that's right. Well, they give him a few seconds, and then he gets his 5 seconds.
Wave after wave of jets come flying over.
Yeah, give him 5 seconds. So this is Beria having to tell her that and he starts again. They're starting to lose their patience with both him and Nikki with Svetlana, because Svetlana's got no power. Neither is Vasily. Their
That's
father's
kind
dead.
of the scary position she's in of being Stalin's daughter. That no matter which way this goes, she's fucked.
Yeah.
This is it, and she doesn't quite get it yet, and she doesn't get it until Nikki tells it to her face, like, "You're done." And she's lucky. She's lucky she gets to go to exile.
Yeah, whereas her brother is enough of a problem that he's just getting shot.
Well, he just probably shoot himself in the end. Here we go.
Guns, please, gentlemen.
And don't they say that earlier in the movie too? Of just like, oh well, he's Vasily's dead, despite the fact that we know in the movie that's not true.
That's not true.
They're telling her that.
Yeah, so they're setting up. The setup is going on in the background to take Beria out with the signal. There's going to be a signal. That's when the army will come in, signal in the committee room. They have to do it in there, start it in there. But because they lied. Nikki lied when they were carrying Stalin's casket. Whoever it was, like Paul White, Paul Molotov, or somebody said to him, "Is Malenkov on board?" He goes, "Oh yes."
Yeah,
He
sure.
wasn't. He just lied about it. He wasn't on board. So, and because he's not on board, but the others don't know that, so it's full steam ahead.
And the deviousness of that is basically, by the time anyone realizes you've just lied to them, it's too late.
Yeah.
You've already committed treason, so you have to go through.
It's a coup. Yeah, it's a coup. They're going against the rules. It's a coup.
Yeah, but by the time everyone realizes that Malenkov isn't on board, they're already halfway through it.
And Georgie doesn't press the button. He doesn't even know it, so Nikki has to do it. So they changed the agenda of the committee meeting, and it's all, "We're condemning you, Beria. You're done."
Yeah.
And then, but this is when Malenkov, for all his supposed not knowing what's going on, he goes, "Yeah, he's got a knife in his sock, and give him a good kicking in the head." So he's not that unaware. Good to see you, Duncan. Yeah, it's a great movie. I wish I could have played more clips. We were getting done for the clips.
It's such a good movie.
I know, so good. And it gets pretty hard now. There's still a couple of funny bits, but it gets pretty hard.
Yeah, this is where shit starts hitting the fan.
So the army start mopping up the NKVD guys that are in the Kremlin. They have to get them out of the Kremlin.
Although the funny part is, I like the way they did the acting on a lot of the NKVD guys, because you can they carry themselves like they're used to being the ultimate authority, used to being in power, and then by the time they realize what's happening, they basically have time to go, "Oh fuck!" right before they get shot.
Yeah. So this is a clip I wanted to play. So they're in the lavatory and there's these pictures up of Malenkov. And first of all, Zukov says, oh, it's fucking right. Georgie's eyes follow you around the room, don't they? And then he goes up and says, why did they hang a picture of my grandmother in here? I really would love to play that clip. I don't know what will happen if I do. Oh, fuck it.
The charade, this is a lavatory. Well, you should feel at home then, shouldn't you, you little coil of shit?
Fuck me. Georgie's eyes really do follow you around the crapper. Weird.
Why did they hang a picture of my grandmother in here?
I don't know if I'll get away with that, but we tried.
Now, one of the things I do have to complain about here as a history nerd is why the fuck is Zukov holding an AK?
Well, yeah.
AK was brand new at this point.
Well, he's head of the Red Army. He'll get the best news.
He'd have one.
If anyone was going to have one, it'd be him.
Anybody would have one, it'd be him. Yeah.
Most likely, it's going to be an SKS.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe a Mosin.
Yeah. So they've got rid of the NKVD, forcing Malenkov to sign this warrant. It's got all the charges on it, and they're taking him down to the shed out the back to put him in the wood chipper.
Yeah.
Because he's a general and he can. That's right.
Yeah.
I love that. Is this not when Vasily burst? No, Vasily. Sorry, that was at the funeral. Where Vasily bursts in and says, "They stole my father's brain and sent it to the Americans."
Right, to the Americans. Yeah.
And yes, the AK-47 came into existence in 47, but it wasn't really into mass production until about 1951.
Yeah. So because there was an American respirator in the movie earlier.
Yeah,
they were treating. What's that? How did that get here? And Vasily thinks that's what they've used to take.
And the funny part is that's exactly accurate. Of a lot of the really high-end shit that the Soviets needed, all came from the United States.
Well, the Russians tried to build one, and it was like 18 times the size, and
and didn't work.
Yeah. So
you saw that before the war with them trying to build a lot of armored designs and stuff like that off of American ideas.
Yeah.
But they didn't pay for any of them.
Yeah. This is where Vasily does burst in here, I think, doesn't he, though? Is this where he fights the guy for his gun?
Yeah, this is it.
He comes in to try and
No,
fight
that was
it.
earlier during the
Was that
autopsy.
earlier? Oh, that was the
autopsy.
Was it? Oh, I thought it was maybe been here. This is where this is an interesting bit. So he says, you'll get your trial. So they give him this is his trial. They read the charges to him, and they know about his depravity. And you saw it earlier when he put that girl in the cell, and she wasn't
the
released.
worst part too is, especially this piece of shit asking for a trial, knowing what he's done to so many millions of Russians.
Yeah.
It's just like the balls on this man to demand a trial.
So, yes, they trumped up all the other shit about working with foreign powers, but this bit is real. To them, this is real. They know he was doing all this degenerate shit. And they're actually they all look like genuinely pissed off about it, you know. This is, they lay it right.
Good decency to act like they were pissed.
Well, yeah. Well, there's nothing they would be able to do about that stuff before. Anyway, that's the trial. You're guilty and you're going to be shot. Yes, you had your trial. Procedures have been followed.
The funny part is still that he had better due process than most of the people he had killed.
And it kind of doesn't go the way that Zukov wants, because this guy just shoots him right now instead of lining him up against the wall.
Yeah.
He goes, oh, well, that's that over then, isn't it? You know,
I didn't even see who it was.
It's just one of the guards carrying him out. Yeah. And then this is where it becomes a fairly brutal film. You know, they start assault, back off back to Georgia, and then they burn him and whatever. And
that scene gets dark.
This is dark stuff. Yeah.
Like the rest of it is very dark humor, but in a really kind of a fun way.
It's black comedy. This becomes just dark. And this is it.
Then it goes here, and you're just like, shit.
Nikki's
still funny, but holy fuck.
Yeah, Nikki's in charge now. Everyone acknowledges that, and he tells Svetlana, "Look, you are going. She should be grateful. You're going to Vienna, which was seen as the city of between the two camps, west and east. That was the city where they met and did stuff."
Which is really funny considering Austria started both world wars, and got away with it.
Well, they maneuvered themselves into that position just so they could be the city of between the two.
I guess, yeah.
Hey, Supergirl.
Well, Captain Have Fun said, "My Supergirl looks manly." It's Melissa Benoist. It looks just like her.
Doesn't look manly to me.
Maybe he's talking about that one, the new 52 Supergirl.
Maybe. So anyway, Nikki's now in charge. And I mean, Beria was arrested 3 months after Stalin's death, not alongside the funeral, etc. So, and it was part of the East German uprising in 1953 that really caused it. That was really why they got pissed off.
Beria was just such a source of paranoia and threat to everyone else in the Soviet system, that as soon as Stalin was dead, his name was on the wall.
Yeah, and so Ilana in the end didn't go to Vienna, apparently. She remained in the Soviet Union, worked as a translator and academic, and guess what? Defected to America in 1967 and became a naturalized citizen. Ironically.
Well, that actually makes a lot of sense, because even in the movie, Khrushchev basically promises that she'll be under his protection.
Yeah, I mean,
she is right up until he gets ousted in 1964.
Yeah, but I do like this ending because Khrushchev,
by the most famous unibrow in history, Leonid Brezhnev.
So Khrushchev's there in charge. Everyone else has been demoted or exiled. Guess who's behind him?
Brezhnev, the guy who'd replace him.
Yeah, and he's looking right at him.
Although they didn't do a good enough job on makeup showing that giant face
The unibrow
he had.
So that was a romp through the movie, interrupted occasionally by stuff on YouTube. But yeah, the historical stuff. So Molotov was not the foreign minister when Stalin died. He had been sacked in 1949, but he became foreign minister again in the post-Stalin reshuffle. So that was not quite the way it was portrayed. Zukov, Marshal of the Soviet Union, not Field Marshal Zukov, was a local field commander when Stalin died, having been exiled to the provinces due to Stalin's paranoid jealousy of him.
That's right. I forgot. He got fucked twice by the Soviet Union.
Yeah.
Where he started off World War II
in
the Gulag because he was a little too high.
I thought you meant he actually started it. It was his fault. He started. What, did he invade Poland?
Well, yes, actually. Trust me, the Russians don't want to talk about that one.
Yeah. So,
but the funny part is he got pulled out of the Gulag in 1942 because most other Soviet leaders were so fucking bad. They were just dying, or either dying on the front or being so incompetent that Stalin had them shot.
Yeah, and I mean, anyone that was competent was immediately going to get on a list.
Yeah, and the problem was, I mean, Zhukov won the war and became like the golden boy of the Soviet military, and that made him a threat to Stalin.
Indeed. But there was more to that. It said Zukov became Deputy Minister of Defense in the post-Stalin government, but was not the commander of the Soviet Army in March 1953. That position was held by Ivan Konev.
Konev was actually, there's a little bit inside baseball there too, but Konev was another basically army group commander and was also a war hero, very similar to Zhukov.
Yeah.
And was basically like one rung below him.
Yeah.
And Konev was the one who actually led the charge into Berlin.
Yeah, I mean, they have played fast and loose here, but it's an entertaining movie. So
yeah,
and most of the inaccuracies seem to be intentional to tell a better story.
It was to tell a better story, and it was a comedy, as Iannucci says. It's a satirical comedy. He was executed 6 months after being arrested. Bering had not been the head of security since 1946. So, and it was 109 people were trampled to death during the funeral. There was no firing of guns or whatever. But Khrushchev, not Malenkov, chaired the meeting to reorganize the government after Stalin's death. So Khrushchev was already maneuvering into power immediately. So,
well, Khrushchev needed to in order to survive, because he was an outspoken rival of Stalin's.
Yeah, and ultimately he was a good enough politician and deal maker to hit the top.
Yeah,
there.
To basically, and if you notice, most of the Stalin era repression and horrificness just went away as soon as Khrushchev took power.
Well, they did reform. They got rid of a lot of that stuff.
Khrushchev took a look around in the 40s and just went, "This is fucking insane."
Yeah, I mean, it's not that it wasn't still a dictatorship, but the senseless slaughter kind of drew to a close. I mean, I don't want to turn this into it's a cult comedy cruise. I don't want to turn it to too dark a history thing,
But that's kind of why it's so funny, is because it makes so much light of something that serious.
Well, I think an important way to emphasize or destroy horrible things is to make merciless fun of them.
Hell yeah.
And especially when it comes to like some of the things that people were getting shot over in the late Stalinist era.
Yeah.
And just how fucking ridiculous half of those charges were, or how idiotic they sound on the face of them, makes it funny.
Indeed.
One of my favorite stabs at comedy throughout history is from what was that? Is it the first Raiders of the Lost Ark, or is it the third one where old Adolf signs Indy's book?
That's true. That's Last Crusade.
Oh yeah,
that's Last Crusade, isn't it? Yeah. It's hilarious, man.
So we'll have a palate cleanser because we just talked about the dark stuff. We'll have one more. We're gonna have a palate cleanser. And it's, by God, it's a good one.
That's enough, you handsome devil. Stick you in a frock, I'd fucking ride you all myself.
I will take that as a compliment.
Yeah, don't. Right.
Jason Isaacs. Thank you, everybody.
The timing is just perfect too. I'll take that as a compliment. Yeah, don't.
He took the whole movie over when he entered the room, dude.
So good.
Yeah.
But yeah, the whole history part.
His entrance to the movie, just, I don't know if Iannucci wanted him to be the protagonist of this film.
I think
but that's where he ended up.
I think Isaac said, "I'm going to play this one as broadly as I can," and he laughed it up.
I'm basically just going to whip my dick out on the
table.
And
slather it all over this movie. Slap you in the face.
And just dare everyone to do something about it.
Anyway, well, I hope everyone's enjoyed this show. Apologies for the interruptions on the YouTube side, but thank you to everybody for sticking with it on YouTube, and thank you to everyone over in Rumble who's been chatting away there and has helped. They saw the whole thing, the whole horrifying thing, whereas on YouTube there was a few interruptions, and also on anyone watching on Twitter, Twixer, whatever. Thank you for watching on there. Hope you all enjoyed it. We tried to do something a little hard for YouTube today, a little bit. They don't kind of like this stuff.
Not that it should be a hard thing, but YouTube. YouTube.
But I hope you guys on the panel have enjoyed it.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I mean, this has been one of my favorite comedies in the last decade.
Yeah.
Especially because I'm a history nerd. I'm anti-communist as all hell.
Yeah.
And this was, and I also love a couple of the actors in here, like Steve Buscemi and Jason Isaacs.
I knew it would be good with Armando Iannucci making it. I didn't know it would be as good as it was. To me, it's a modern classic. I mean, we've had classics on.
I had heard good things when I went to see this in the theater. And somebody was like, "Oh yeah, it's pretty good," and I was damn near peeing myself at points during this movie.
Minute when Zukov comes in, I was doubled over with laughter as soon as he opened his mouth. But the rest of it was still funny too. The farcical elements, I mean, it gets dark at the end, but a lot of farce, a lot of black comedy, a lot of...
The weird part is the more serious bits are actually funnier.
Yeah, thanks, Duncan, for joining in the chat. And yeah, glad you enjoyed us doing this movie. I thought I'd try something a little different today. Normally we do kind of silly comedies. It is a silly comedy.
I do have a suggestion for maybe, not next one, but something in this vein as well, being a very dark comedy, is Death to Smoochie.
Yeah, I'll add it to the list. I'll add it to the list for sure. It's disturbing that so much of it is real. Yeah, well, certainly the attitudes portrayed and the paranoia and fear were real, and the deaths are real. Anyway, so Joe, my friend, we will be redirecting to your channel after the show, and
it is much appreciated. Martin is over in studio right now waiting on me to show up. I just checked, so yeah.
So Joe's got to get headed out, so go check out Joe. I think he's still not tapped Miranda's ass yet, but
no, I have not. Matter of fact, she's been a little off-putting here lately. I may have to go after Jack, man, because I'm just not down with women trying to put me down when I'm doing nothing but
get her to make you some sandwiches.
Wow, whatever, man. I ain't got time for bullshit. I just don't. But anyway, you guys come check it out. We start at 6:30 at the bottom of the hour. I'll be on.
So head over to Joe and
over. Bring a cocktail so you can watch me fail at a video game. Yeah, let's do it.
Bring a cock or a tail, whatever you prefer. Now, in the pinned link at the top of the chat, there is a channel posted, and there's a channel with not much going on in it right now. But Paul, would you like to tell me about this channel? Not that I don't know about it, but I'm going to make you talk.
Well, I would, because this is a new project from not only myself and 70s Rock Fan, but also Nick Weiser, Disciple of Rock, Imperatus. I think Avigor is part of it as well, and a whole bunch of other people. And this is going to be Bonded by Metal, a channel that's kind of smashing all of the things that I do well and a lot of the other music discussions that we've been having on each other's channels for years now into one central place where we can all talk about it and tism out and generally yell at each other, and then you guys get to enjoy it.
So bonded by Metal, there's going to be videos, probably live streams. I think we're recording a video tomorrow.
We're either recording it Wednesday or it's going to go live Wednesday.
One or the other. Tomorrow at 7 p.m. my time, which is Mountain Time.
Roger that.
I think
so. That's late.
For the East Coast, it is. That's about 9 o'clock.
Is it 7 p.m. my time or is it 7 p.m. Eastern time?
If it's 7 Eastern, that's fine. 7 your time would be almost.
Well, at some point tomorrow, something will be happening on Bonded by Metal, and I believe it's going to be albums we hate by bands we love.
Yes, that is going to be our first episode. We've already been talking behind the scenes about who's going to talk about what.
And Davina and D-Bit have posted the links to the channel as well. Thank you guys. Go on the YouTube side anyway. I think the Rumble side's coming, but
yeah, I don't know that Nick's made the.
No, we'll set that up though.
Rumble channel yet.
But that will happen. So there will be a Talent is dead. Are you sure? Let's see. Well, for all we know, it might just be a trick, a communist-inspired plot to enslave the world.
And it would actually not be the most intricate plot.
He's like Elvis, right? He just faded away somewhere.
So Bonded by Metal. Pope, anything else you want to talk about?
Well, I didn't do one this weekend because of 4th of July. I was busy blowing stuff up. But every Saturday night on Rumble, for those of you who are on that fantastic platform, and the rest of you, shame on you. You fucking should be.
Yeah.
I do a little 2-hour radio show I call Midnight Mass, And, you know, we may morph that into something on the Rumble side for Bonded by Metal as well.
That
like an
sounds
after
like a
show for when you
plan.
do something? That would be badass.
And
sounds like
I
a
have a
plan.
couple other ideas of stuff we're going to do. Like a metal news segment, basically. Who's coming on tour? Here's what, you know, these guys are saying, stuff
You
like
need
that.
something like that, guys, because you know what? I can't even hear this stuff on when I'm driving in my car. There is no new.
The worst part is the only
rock and roll
official,
music.
the only
There's
like aggregation source you have for metal news is places like freaking Loudwire.
Yep.
That suck ass and always have.
Yeah.
So I hope to be the anti-Loudwire and actually be funny.
Good. So look forward to that, everybody. As for me, well, first of all, thank you everyone for being here. Thank you for the super chats. Please, if you're not subscribed, consider subscribing. I've got 2110 now. I'm almost at 2112, which would be the perfect subscription number.
Freeze it there for all time. You get two more.
Two more.
We're done.
And like and share and consider becoming a member. All that great stuff they tell us to do, and I'm very bad at asking for it because I'm so humble. I'm a humble guy.
Also, if you haven't, check out this the stream we did on Colossus because that one was weirdly popular. We love doing it.
Yeah, there's tons of great content. Colossus the Foreburn Project has been the most successful live stream we've ever done. God knows how many tens of thousands now.
And that one was a random one we did. Nobody even suggested it, and it just blew up.
Just
out of
happened.
nowhere.
Yeah, it's a film I'd always loved. Later on tonight, I'll probably be on Comics Division at some point. Monday Night Meltdown. I don't think we're doing Toxic Tuesday tomorrow. I think we got a night off. I think I'm right in saying that. And then there'll be other.
You guys get a night off. 9. Back to the content mines with you.
Yes, back to the. I might even try and make it. I might try and make a video for God's sake. I do a short every day, by the way, everyone out there. Of an item from my vinyl record collection every day. I do a short. Some of those are done quite well, so check those out. Next Monday's show, I've pretty much made up my mind what it's going to be. I'm going to do something a bit more lighthearted, but it has some music content too. It's going to be about the movie Back to the Beach.
Yes.
So that is Stevie Ray Vaughan performs in that movie. It's a ton of fun. It's summer. Let's do a summer movie with some music. Back to the Beach. If you haven't seen it, go check it out.
As long as they don't play Texas Flood in it, because that's a little too soon.
No, they don't. They play Pipeline, though.
True.
So Pipeline's in it. So that should be a ton of fun and a lot of girls in bikinis. So let's do that next Monday. Confirmation to come, of course. Till then, everybody, enjoy the rest of your Monday. Have a great week. I thank you again for being part of this thing. Thank you to the mods, Davina and D-Bud. Thank you very much for what you do. I appreciate it enormously. Let's knock it on the head, comrades. Let's go check out what's happening in the Politburo. Make sure that we're not on a list. Until next time, keep well, stay well, keep on rocking.